This is another damn podcast about digital asset management. I'm Henrik Gyor. Today I'm speaking with Roger Howard. Roger, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Roger, how are you involved with digital asset management?
Well, I've been involved on just about every level with digital asset management as a developer, as a systems administrator, doing metadata and taxonomy design, designing workflow, building applications, and I've gone through vendor selections with about 10 different projects over the past 10 or 12 years.
Excellent. And Roger, how does an entertainment software company use a DAM?
Sure. Well, digital asset management means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. In entertainment companies like video game developers, we have digital asset management systems involved in the production pipelines for developing the actual games, the assets that go into the games, the source code repository management. There's, of course, the marketing DAMs that manage marketing assets, distribution for sales channels.
Sure.
And my involvement is actually particularly focused on archiving valuable assets, so things like concept art, and also in providing workflow applications for marketing, PR, and web teams.
Cool. And you recently started a DAM meetup group in Southern California along with Lily Tatacton. Tell me more about this meetup group.
Sure. Well, inspired by a couple other groups around the country, we thought that given how dispersed people are in Southern California, but also how many Southern Californians are involved in one way or another in digital asset management, it would be a great opportunity to get people together in person, maybe have a few drinks, talk, share war stories.
Sure.
So we just had our first event, in fact, 2 days ago at the Henry Stewart conference in LA the night before the opening day. And it was fantastic. We had a lot of people. We had maybe 20, 25 people show up. It was a good time, a couple hours of hanging out with colleagues, and we hope to keep repeating the event. So we're shooting for another event in maybe a month or two after the beginning of the year, and then we're going to try to keep it going every 2 to 3 months going forward.
Cool. And what advice would you like to give to DAM professionals or people aspiring to become DAM professionals?
Well, I think it's actually a great career. I think that there's a lot of different opportunities. There's a lot of different roles people can play that all are kind of lumped under DAM. But I think my best advice is to go after as broad and diverse a set of skills as you can possibly manage for yourself. So both communications and business skills, but also technical skills I think are incredibly important in many DAM careers. So myself, I have a very technical background, but I also have a background in creative production. I've done a lot of production management, and now working mostly on the administration, design, development, planning aspects of digital asset management systems. Having that background both in technical skills that allows me to work with developers, work with IT folks, but also having an understanding and a background in creative production, and to some extent in the business issues around content production and distribution, really gives you a much better insight into why it is that people might actually want to take advantage of what you have to offer. So my advice is not to pigeonhole yourself in into a very limited set of skills. So if you can build up a basic understanding at least of database management, get some basic SQL skills are incredibly handy. XML skills can be incredibly handy. Basic scripting tools. So if you're working in a primarily Mac-oriented creative shop, learn a little bit of AppleScript, learn a bit of Python. Learn some web development skills so you can at least do basic HTML, a little bit of JavaScript, a little bit of CSS. Ultimately, I think the most important thing you can do is spend time kind of living and walking in other people's shoes, the people whose jobs you touch as a digital asset management expert. So, if you're working in a creative environment, spend some time with the designers, with the artists, with the production managers that you work with. Try to actually, see if you can book time and work as an intern for a day or a week. Likewise, if your digital asset management system is heavy on cataloging and data entry, spend time frequently as a cataloger in your environment so that you understand not only the application of the taxonomy and metadata models that you develop, but the limitations of the tools that may be frustrating your users. So live and, breathe and, walk a few miles in a user's shoes, and that will go a long way.
Great idea. Well, thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
For more on digital asset management, log on to anotherdamblog.com. Thanks again.